Well, guys, Infinity Ward somehow managed to do it. Infinite Warfare is way worse than I possibly could have ever expected. And I didn't think they could do it, but they did. And I'm not just saying this because I've been on the COD hate bandwagon for a long time now. Admittedly, I liked Black Ops 3. I hated on it before it even came out, before I even played it. And I got it just for zombies. I've always been a huge zombies fan, and I ended up actually enjoying the multiplayer. I put like 3 or 4 days into it, which is a decent amount of time for me nowadays, not compared to my 30 days of gameplay back in like the Modern Warfare 2 days. But Black Ops 3 was a decent game. I got sick of it towards the end, but it was playable and it was enjoyable, and I definitely got my money's worth. I don't regret that purchase at all. But this game, Infinite Warfare, is like a whole new level of bad. I cannot believe that this is the game that they're putting out this year. Infinity Ward should seriously be embarrassed with the product that they're releasing. But they're not, because you know why? They're going to make a lot of money. I'm not going to dissect this game and go into a ton of detail. But first of all, the visuals are terrible. When you first load up the game, Infinity Ward, for some reason, thought it was a great idea to put on some film grain texture filter thing that is on by default, and you have to go into the settings to turn it off. That's awful. And the color palette is terrible. But I'm not here to talk about the visuals. That really has nothing to do with the gameplay. The visuals can suck as long as the game is great, right? The graphics really don't matter that much in the bigger picture. The gameplay itself is what makes this game terrible. The game is just awful. The map design is mediocre at best. The guns, they are so inconsistent. I've never played a Call of Duty game with this much inconsistency in the time to kill. And the flow of the maps overall is just awful. Like, there is no flow. Like, you thought Modern Warfare 3 maps had no flow. This game's maps are 10 times worse. And don't even let me get into the whole specialist thing. Some of these things are ridiculous, or they just suck. There's one where you crawl on the ground like a freaking dog and you just run into people and kill them. Like, is this even Call of Duty anymore? Because this is not the franchise that I grew up with. I know it has to evolve to stay alive, but I don't know. And then the movement. The movement is what gets to me the most. This game feels like a cheap Chinese ripoff of Call of Duty that you would play on some no-name gaming system. It seems like Infinity Ward was going in a totally different direction with this game, and then added the advanced movement in as an afterthought. And this goes into like the whole map design thing. There are not a lot of like secret routes or routes, whatever you prefer, that you can use with the advanced wall running or whatever. It feels like they made this game with boots on the ground in mind, and then Activision just called and was like, nah, you got to use Black Ops 3's movement, because initially Black Ops 3's movement system got a lot of hate, and when it came out, people sort of adapted to it and enjoyed it. But this, it just feels like it has no place. You wonder why it's even there in the first place. And I know that we all want boots on the ground combat and whatnot, but it just, if you're going to put advanced movement in the game, don't make it useless. It's just stupid. Like, here I am jumping up here. You could have put a ladder there. There's no reason to double jump up there. Ladders, I guess, are a thing of the past in Call of Duty titles anymore. You can't even use the ladders if there are any in these maps. You walk up to them and you can't climb them, which is ridiculous. Here I am just doing some wall running, totally unnecessary. But in Black Ops 3, there are secret ways to get to different parts of the map by using the wall running, and it's just not present in this game at all. And that's probably one of my bigger gripes with this game. And as I said, the time to kill is awful. Sometimes I'll kill people, I'll absolutely melt them with a gun, and then I'll die, and then I'll respawn, and then I'll go back and I'll shoot someone else, and it takes way longer to kill them for some reason at the same distance. It is embarrassing that this is even the product that they're putting out. Infinity Ward supposedly has been working on this game for 3 years, but it feels like they threw this thing together in like 6 months and just couldn't think of any ideas within the past 2.5 years that they had. It's like 2.5 years into the development cycle. They were just like, all right, fuck it. We have to meet a deadline. Let's throw together some old assets, put in the Black Ops 3 movement, and just fucking throw it out there. It is the worst Call of Duty game I've ever played. And I don't even know what I'm going to talk about for the rest of the video because I feel like I've already said everything, but I'm probably just so mad that I can't remember all the things that I wanted to talk about. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done with this shit. I'm not buying it. This is the first Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare? No. Since Call of Duty 3 that I'm skipping out on. I'm actually not going to buy it this year, barring some major breakout in the zombies mode. Like, it's just incredible. But even that looks terrible, corny to me. And I'm just going to have to pass up on this. And I'm on the Battlefield 1 hype train. I've played already like 15 hours of it. I got the early enlister edition. That's my go-to game this year. Infinity Ward, you let me down again. I didn't even have any expectations, and you somehow managed to still let me down. And it sucks because I was really hoping that this game would be like half decent because I really wanted to play Modern Warfare Remastered, but I'm not going to pay $80 for a nostalgia trip, you know, because the game is awful. I would never touch Infinite Warfare, and I'm not going to pay $80 just to play Call of Duty 4, which admittedly I'll probably get bored of within a couple months. You know, the nostalgia will wear off. Kind of like it did with Star Wars Battlefront. You know, initially that game was so fun because you're thinking of all the memories you made on Battlefront 2, on PS2, and Battlefront 1, and then you're kind of like, this game doesn't really have a lot of depth. So yeah, I'm not paying $80 unless they sell it separately. I'm not paying that amount of money to buy a shitty game with a great game that I probably won't put that much time into. I'm moving on from you, Infinity Ward. I'm done. Alright. I'm gonna go. Fuck this game. Peace.